to Robyn's Reviews. We are almost finished with A Song for You by Robyn Crawford. We're actually on chapters 21 and 22, and after that there are only 2 more chapters left, so we're just about done, folks. Leave your comments in the comment area or section. Let me know the book that you want me to cover next, and the book that has the most comments, well, that'll be the next book that we cover. So starting off, chapter 21, and prior, I think during one of our live chat events, I talked about Robyn mentioning how people were spending all her money, and Whitney was bankrolling everyone unbeknownst to her. So Cindy Madnick was actually the bookkeeper at Nippy Inc., all right, and Robyn said she hated everyone, and Robyn said, you know, when she'd go into the office, Cindy would be venting this poor girl. She's not, I feel sorry for her, she's not going to have any money. Bobby's mother would call up there, her cable bill was due, her electricity needs to be paid. So everyone was just, you know, sponging off of Whitney, and she didn't even know it. Again, I think I mentioned during one of the live events, that's one reason why they didn't want her to get off the drugs. They were ripping her off. And of course, we know that's what eventually, you know, Whitney wound up with no money. Robyn mentions also the first time she heard that Whitney didn't have any money was 1987, which she didn't understand. They toured, what, 11 months out of the year. Where is all the money going? So, Robyn said, Whitney, Nip, you know, you might want to go talk to Cindy. She did. She found out everyone had credit cards, and she was bankrolling people's mortgage. Her father, of course, we know, allegedly, we talked about this before, you know, he stole millions from her and then turned around and sued her for $100 million. That's a horse of another day. We'll talk about that again, probably our next live event. So she talks about even there was a mobile gas station around the corner with a credit card. Everyone was using it. So then she talked about finally, you know, Whitney told Cindy, you know, just take all the credit cards away. So she said when it was time to hit the road, well, you know, each time, you know, there was a concert tour, you know, you wear new clothes. You don't wear the same old clothes from a previous or prior tour. There was no money to buy clothes. And Robyn said she didn't have the heart to tell Whitney that there was no money. This is heartbreaking, folks. And, you know, she said that, you know, I digress. I got ahead of myself. She also talked about Whitney's brother Michael coming to her apartment, her home, and he had what she thought was just a marijuana joint. She smoked it, and she felt like her soul was taken away from her. She found out it was a joint laced with crack cocaine, and she called Whitney and told, you know, and they call it Wooly. Yeah, Wooly is the name of it. So she wasn't too happy about that. Also, she talks about If I Told You That is a song that Clive wanted Whitney to do with Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson had one of his representatives to contact Whitney. He didn't do it himself, which hurt Whitney. Said that he didn't want to do it, so whatever. So anyway, she wound up doing it with George Michael, okay? So she talks about that, how that went down. And of course, George Michael was a star in his own right. We all know that. And let's see, said that her father was beaming with pride. So they were preparing for a tour, and all the tours, concert dates were selling out. Robyn said she knew that was too much. Whitney was in no shape mentally, physically, emotionally, psychologically to do this. But her father, oh, my baby girl, he was so proud. Well, he was stealing her money, so he was making sure she got out there and made him some more. And of course, no one was listening to Robyn at that point. And so she talks about how, you know, her father calls, and Bobby was listening in on the conversation, and her father was telling her about the money they were going to make. Bobby was like, it needs to be more money. So anyway, Robyn came up with a brilliant idea, since she didn't want to tell Whitney she didn't have any money. This girl, Whitney, had made millions, folks. So anyway, Robyn came up with the idea, you know, of contacting designers and maybe having them to outfit Whitney and the singers for the tour. And then, of course, you know, quid pro quo, she would, of course, you know, she's showing, she's wearing their clothes for free, and then, you know, they're getting free advertisement. Okay, so they did that. It was a success. Their tour kicked off June 22nd, 1999. And she said that of the 20 shows, Whitney was able to do 16. It was taxing on her, folks. She said Whitney wasn't in a good place. Like again, Robyn tried to tell them, no one listened, so oh well, same old thing. Then Robyn starts talking about over the years, the Pride, New York has a Pride parade. And over the years, they've been inviting Whitney, and they were always busy, or they had another commitment. 1999, she did it, and Robyn said she hadn't ever seen Whitney this happy. Said Whitney was on stage, jumping up and down. She went to like 2 a.m., I think she said, and said at the end that Whitney said, "I had fun." Robyn said it made her sad because she hadn't heard Whitney say she, had fun in years. So then she starts talking about. So, folks, remember we talked about, the drug situation? Well, that makes sense. She starts talking about 1999. Whitney was doing an interview with Out Magazine, and she was talking just fine, regular, Whitney. Then Bobby Brown shows up, and then Whitney just turns into another person, starts to be sort of confrontational. So, anyway, it is what it is. So then she starts talking about, we all remember, if we've seen the Academy Awards, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, at the Grammy Awards for 2000, Whitney she received the Best Female R&B Vocal for It's Not Right, But It's Okay. And instead of her, Robyn talks about how instead of her enjoying her moment, she's trying to lift up Bobby, and said that, Whitney looked at him and said, "This one's for you," and called him the original R&B king. No comment. All right, so anyway, Robyn was like, she looked at one of the producers backstage, and they looked at each other like, what did she just say? All right, so anyway, moving forward, here on, we talked about If I Told You That. Clive wanted her to do If I Told You That with George Michael, since things didn't work out with Michael Jackson. Well, what happened was Whitney canceled. Okay? Of course, Robyn trying to be the buffer to smooth everything over. So what happened was Clive called again saying that George, would be in town Thursday. Okay, so another opportunity. Bobby relayed the message to her, and of course, come Thursday, no Whitney. So Clive Davis suggested to Robyn, buy something, as a gift of appreciation, also as a sorry Whitney didn't show up. So Robyn did, and then she gave it to, gave it to George, and she said that Bobby didn't like that too much. And he started yelling, "Are you crazy? You don't buy," what did he say, word for word, according to Robyn, "you out of your mind buying a man a gift from my wife?" Okay, so this was the beginning of the end, folks. Then Whitney, Robyn was like, "Well, it's for, it's an apology gift, basically." Whitney said, "Apology for what?" At this point, Robyn realized Whitney was gone. She, Whitney, Bobby, they were drugged out of their mind. And, ignoring Bobby, she looked at Whitney and says, I'm sick of this stuff. I'll say stuff. Robyn said something else. "I'm trying to do my job," and she was tired of Whitney canceling commitments. She just said, "I quit," slammed the door. She said she later found out, Sylvia told her, Whitney said she ain't going nowhere. I won't use the profanity, okay? The F-bomb, basically. Then she said, Robyn said she flew back to LA. She's like, pretty much now I have to save myself. I can't do anything else to help Whitney. You know, she's on drugs. Plus, she mentioned earlier, you know, she went to Whitney's house and she fixed some lunch. She saw some spoons that had been burned, I think, to burn the crack cocaine. She said she called Whitney on her private line and said, you know, we've been through so much together. You know, I'd like for us to get together, for us to talk in person. She said Whitney called her back and said, you know, one day, you know, next week, this week we'll get together. The week passed, and then another week passed, another week passed. Donna calls. Well, Whitney says she accepts your resignation. All right, so that's how that went down. That's pretty much how their relationship ended. Robyn said, you know, she wrote a resignation letter, and that was that, you know, the end of her time at Nippy. And she'd been with Whitney over 20 years, so she was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? You know, she said that she just didn't know what to do with herself, and she said that she talked, Whitney called her, and, you know, she said, you know, I'd like for us to meet. We've been through so much together. I don't want to move on without, you know, letting you know how I feel about, you know, you, your situation, what you're thinking, what, you know, where your head is going. Whitney said, we'll talk. Okay, and so that was that. Okay, so that finishes or completes that. Those two chapters. So that's how it ended, folks. So what can you say? Sad, sad, sad. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I've enjoyed having you here at Robyn's Reviews, and I look forward to you watching the next video where we actually finish a song for you. And always remember, and I will always love you. I will always love you. Enjoy, folks. See you next video.